everyone. Welcome to another episode of Her Data Learns. My name is Janushki, and I've got my co-host Jennifer with me here today. Jennifer, would you like to introduce our wonderful guest?
Yes, I would love to. So we're very excited to have Judit Bekker with us. She is a Tableau public ambassador, and recently a Tableau Zen Master. Huge congratulations to you. And we're really excited to talk to you today. We're super fans, as we were telling you before, so this is really exciting.
Yeah, right back at you. I'm a fan as well, and I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, Judith, what do you do on your day-to-day job? I know you just had a little transition. Where are you working now?
I work at a German company, and basically what I'm doing is like day-to-day reporting and a little bit of UI and UX design in terms of, but it's all within Tableau. So yeah, reporting. That's the umbrella term, I guess.
Very cool. Okay, so without further ado, Judith is going to talk to us about how she incorporates Tableau Illustrator to her Adobe Illustrator to her Tableau dashboard design, and we're super excited to learn some fun tips and tricks from you.
Yeah.
So take it away.
Yeah, let me share my screen.
Okay.
So my thought for today was to actually rebuild one of my recent quizzes, and this is the one that you are having a look at right now. I don't think it's my best one, but it has a lot of things to show and learn some tips and tricks. So, and it's really recent, so I didn't need to like redo everything in my mind. It was all fresh. So yeah, that was my plan. And just to have a look at how I'm working and how my quizzes are built up. Usually everything has 4 or 3 layers, and this is not an exception either. So there's an image as a background of the dashboard that only contains these women and the gray background. And then on top of that are sitting all the visualizations. And there's another layer with text, and I duplicated all the charts, but they are all transparent so that the tooltips would work. But if I start getting rid of them one by one, you can see how this is built up. So if I just...
That's a really interesting way to do that.
Yeah. So if I delete this sheet and this sheet, and this, and the last one, everything will stay the same, but it won't be interactive. So the next thing I'm gonna delete is the over image, which is this one. And if I delete everything text-wise disappears, and only the stuff that is in Tableau stays, and this is the under image. If I delete that, there's this blank I'm left with.
Oh my
God. So this is what I will use and export back and forth between Illustrator and Tableau. So I just wanted to show you this, but actually I have another version, prepared.
And really quickly, I like the idea you do a transparent sheet, transparent chart over, so that way you can sandwich between it your text that you lay out. Smart. Okay, really love it already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the next thing I wanted to show is that there's how easy is to cut out like seemingly difficult stuff, and I won't go through the whole process. I just wanted to show you how easy it is if you take the time. So here's this image I downloaded from Pexels, and actually it took a lot of time, but because I fiddled over everything, but it's really easy to make a PNG out of an image like this. Basically, you have a tool here called Quick Selection, and you just go through, and roughly the lady here is selected. You can go over the edges and stuff. I won't do it now because it's really time consuming, but you can get to know how it is. The next stuff I will do is select and mask this image. Okay, the nose is missing, but
We've taken the lady's nose off.
for the time being, it's gonna be okay.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
And then there's this select and mask area. And what I do is, yeah, I lay it on black. Ooh. But I want it to be full black so that I know what the edges are. There are some global instructions here, but I just don't bother. I want the hair to be perfect because it looks nice that way. So I'm gonna just zoom in a little to show how this, I don't know what it's called, fine selection tool, refine edge brush tool works. So I'm going over the hair here, and you can see that those little strips are coming up, and
Yeah, it's just making it perfect.
yeah, so I just do it over a couple of minutes, and at the end it's gonna be okay and can be exported as a PNG. So yeah, believe me, it's really easy. It just needs to take time, and then you can export it, and you will only have the women in place, or the woman in place. Let's just cancel this or try to. Okay.
And just a quick question, do you find yourself starting with the data and finding the design elements later, or do you feel led by design then data, or is it back and forth depending on the project?
Actually, I find the idea first and then I'm searching for data. So for this one, I know what let me show you what I was starting out with. So this was my like idea board that I wanted to do something positive, and this was the inspiration behind. Let me check where it's coming.
I love it.
I wanted to do something like that, and that was the starting point.
I love it.
I love that you share that, because I think it can come in different places, right? So that's fun.
And it's not even a visualization, like it's not like a data visualization, right? It's a picture, it's an image that inspired you to do a positive data visualization.
Yeah.
So cool.
So yeah, for me, it almost always happens this way. I first have an idea and then I'm searching for data that could fit the story. So I guess someone calls it design-driven approach, I guess. But yeah, that's how I work. And okay, so after I have my woman cut out, what I did was to have a background here. Control U, okay. And I drew a rectangle over the canvas, and that was actually a gradient, a very subtle one, but I was like, okay, what the hell? I am gonna go with a gradient here. And this is really easy to do because I don't need 4 points for this. So I just drag it out of the canvas. And actually I'm left with 2. And for one edge, I chose to be white. And the other was kind of gray.
I love that you know the code for those colors. Okay.
Yeah, I actually don't know a lot by heart, but if I'm getting lost totally, I have everything here up as a guide. So yeah, and you can even control the angle of the gradient, and it's really easy. I always use these essential settings because I don't know Illustrator that much, and I don't use like many of the tools, but all the ones I need are here. So here's this gradient tool, and you can see that it's like 0 degrees is going from one side to the other. But if I wanted it to be like 45 or I don't know, whatever, I could just stick to what I like.
So you don't use Illustrator all the time? This is just kind of finding it and I'm just learning it? Oh
Yeah.
You sound and look like an expert, so
I'm not.
okay.
I don't know. Sometimes I saw some videos on Pinterest or TikTok, and I was like, you can do it in Illustrator. I so want to try it out, and then I try it out. Most of the time I forget how I did it, but sometimes it sticks. I did some courses, but I don't use like 20% of what I've learned there. So when you don't use it, it's just, you know, it's possible, but I don't know how to do it. So yeah. So the next thing here was to place the image of the woman here. Okay. And what I did was just to mirror her, and I triplicated her. And okay, why don't you go a little? Okay. And then I set the opacity of the second woman to like, I guess it was something of 60%, and the last one was 20. And there are a lot of opacity options here. I used multiply because that was the one that looked the best. Let me show you a couple of differences here. I tried out some options with the same picture, and I have it open here as well. So it looks better in color, but I made an experiment to try out all the opacity overlays. Some of them I think not working here. In other cases, the difference is really subtle. So I chose this multiply option when I was working on the dashboard.
Very neat.
Sorry?
That's very neat. I love it.
Yeah. So that was the first thing I had. It's not going to be like 100% the same, but it's going to be similar. So what I do now is that I export this image as a PNG. Okay, let's call it starter PNG. And then I put it back to Tableau as a floating image. And if the dashboard size and the image size are the same, the quality is best if you just choose fit image, but not center. I don't know why it is. I just stumbled upon this one. So I have this starter image, and I just need to size it to the size of my dashboard, which is really like I wanted to have a more like rounded number than this, but as I was doing stuff, I needed to enlarge it in terms of width and height, and it turned out to be this 1138 pixels wide. Oh, not edit. But what I want to do is I want to send it back so that the Tableau stuff appears. And then what I do now is that I export this dashboard image. Like here's this export, and okay, it's a nice name for it. And I'm going back to Illustrator and add a new layer that I will call Tableau. And actually, I will hide this image for the time being and lock it so that it's not visible. And I put my Tableau image on the dashboard. I lock it as well. And I create a new layer that will say text. And I have, yep, sorry.
What a smart way to do this. Not relying on Tableau to do your text is, I mean, it gives you more versatility. I love it.
Yeah, actually, the only thing, I mean, there are two things why I'm not doing text in Tableau. One is the alignment. I like when it's justified. And the other thing is fonts. I'm just not that happy with the selection of fonts available. So I will just copy it from here because it's really not that important and fun to just type it in the text one more time. One thing I think it's great to just play with is the space between the lines, because I always enlarge it a little to make it like more airy and to be able to read it easier. But if I leave it on auto, it would look like this. Yeah.
You're adding a little white space.
Yeah, so I'm always increasing the space between the lines. And yeah, so that's my default move, I would say. And let me just copy real quick this other stuff here so that we would have it. Okay. I have the numbers as well displayed as text because I don't know, I could stick with something that Tableau has to offer, but I like to be really consistent. And it's really, really easy to do these things. It's just like takes a lot of time to export back and forth. But I guess everything should be fine now. And this was the tricky part because on the original dashboard, I put here some annotation-like things that I wasn't doing in Tableau, and how I'm doing it is really easy because if I know what my data point is, I want to highlight, I just put an annotation here on the point.
Right.
And then that will point me to that exact period in time. And then I'm exporting it with the annotations. I put the marks in the right place, and then I'm deleting the annotations, and I'm exporting it again and putting it back to Illustrator. So it's like, I think I'm doing it like 1,000 times before publishing it to Tableau Public, but that's how I would do it. And the other thing that I applied here is that there's a difference between, let me show you in the, can this come up? Okay. It's a little bit like misplaced, but what I was aiming, my problem was that Ursula von der Leyen's name couldn't fit. So, and I didn't like the way any of the options worked out. So I was like, okay, then I'm extending the timeline because she will be in office for like a couple of more years until 2024. I was like, I'm putting 2024 in as an estimate if everything would stay the same. So what I did was I put a break line, and then everything before that was this bluish color, and everything after that was gray, so that her name would fit. And I put here these little lines just because I thought it looked like nice, but didn't have any other function. And this is, again, something really easy to do. If I want to gray something out, with these lines, I go to this line segment tool, and I was like doing a line here. I made it some kind of gray.
What a good way to manage, like, okay, a design challenge and altering slightly your chart to fit for the, like, I love that. Because my Ellen that I did with timeline, like that was a challenge. Like, how do I annotate everything within the space of the timeline? So what
Yeah, you extend
I
it.
like this. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just duplicated this line here. And what's great about Illustrator, okay, is that if you are doing something once, then if you hit Command D or Control D on Windows, it will do it like anytime you hit the button until you do something else.
When you showed that those were lines, sorry, go ahead.
Command D, you said?
Command D or Control D
So that would repeat what you're doing and paste it.
Yeah, so if I'm just drawing an ellipse here, and then I hit Control D, it will draw ellipses. Or I don't know if it works with, I never used it before. So maybe if I'm coloring it to red, what this will do.
When you said you drew all of those lines, I thought, how did you keep them evenly spaced? So that's a really handy tip.
Yeah. So, and let me show you that, because I really don't like how it doesn't end where it should. So right now, the space here is a little bit more than the space there. And what I do is that I select everything, and there's this option. I will choose align to everything that is selected, and I will distribute them evenly, vertically. And right now, everything should be fine.
Nice.
I feel like I can try Illustrator now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and rewrite
it's
history.
really great.
I mean, and rewrite write the future, right? 2024.
Yeah. So, okay, I messed it up a little. Okay, I will deal with it's not being perfect this time. But next, what I do is just let me copy everything from here so that I could show the last step. Okay, let's get rid of this maybe. I accidentally copied the background as well. Okay. And this is just, I don't want to lose it being selected together. So if I want to keep something together, I hit Command G, and then it's gonna be a group from then on. And it's easier to put in place. And when I don't want them to be a group anymore, then it's Command Shift G, and I could just take it away part by part then. Okay, so what I do now is that I actually don't want the Tableau, the stuff from Tableau to be exported, to be imported into Tableau. So I'm just gonna hide it from the view with this little toggle visibility button. But I will, oh no, so I will hide everything, and then I will have my first image and export it as, let's call it under layer. use artboards and make it PNG. Okay, and then I'm gonna hide it from the view and export the upper part because I can only do it in one step if I were using two artboards, but this way I need to export them one by one and make sure to give them different names, otherwise they would be rewritten. So this is gonna be the over. Okay, and then the only thing left is to put it into Tableau. This hasn't changed. And yeah, another floating image. Let me show you how it looks if I make it centered first. So this is the over. Okay, then I size it accordingly.
It adds some padding, does it, or?
Oh. Yeah, it has to be, I mean, I'm always working with the exact same dashboard size as I used in Illustrator for everything to be in place. But what I gathered, and I don't know if the difference will be visible here, but this is when I add, this is when I pick center image in, and if I tick it out, then it's really more sharp. I don't think it's visible, but that was my, what I found out when I was trying to add the images. So yeah, and there is nothing left after that than just duplicating the charts and put them on top of each other, like pixel perfect. And it would look like if it were one chart, but actually all my charts are doubles. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's how it works. Let me check if I missed anything I wanted to.
You made it look so easy.
Because actually it is. Did I manage to? Okay. I guess I managed to delete it. Okay, annotations. Yeah, I think I showed everything I wanted to, and the part that was interesting, because otherwise I'm just fussing around, like having the enough padding, and I'm like, how I'm measuring if I'm doing the right padding here in Illustrator is like really funny, because I decide on this side first, and then I'm like, and maybe I didn't do it here. It was just, I was trusting my eyes. But what I do usually is that I draw a line here. And then I duplicate that line.
I love it.
See if the size is the same, and I missed it here. So it should be something like this to be even, but yeah, this time I trusted my eye, but this is how I measure it, not scientific at all.
You're way smarter than mine, because sometimes I will hold like a piece of paper to the line and I'm like looking at it on the computer.
Yeah, I'm doing the same sometimes, but yeah, I mean, it pisses me off a little that I wasn't precise, so I might just republish it, but but yeah, this is how I'm thinking when I'm using Illustrator. And it's really easy, because actually what I'm using when I'm doing dashboards is I'm using this type tool, which is really easy. You type anything, you just change the font or the size or how cluttered the texts are, or how close the letters are to each other. And the other thing I'm using is actually I'm drawing lines and rectangles. I don't think anything else. Like I'm not using it to its full potential, just drawing lines, rectangles, and like the type tool.
But you're very proficient in the ways that you're using it. And
Yeah. How
the
did you
control
learn?
D's.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say the control D I'm taking with me because I can't wait to try to do something in Illustrator for my next viz. So
Yeah. How did you learn those shortcuts?
Actually, I was learning from this guy. If I can show it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let me just search for him. I think he's like really great. He's doing all these Adobe courses. He's an Adobe certified. I don't know how they call it, but he's Adobe certified. He's the guy, and I learned using Photoshop and Illustrator from him. He has this site. I was doing it on Udemy, and he has like advanced and essentials and beginner from everything. And he always gives like homework, and you have to submit it. I think maybe this can be tricked, but they were like so great that I used a lot of stuff when I was doing my day-to-day creative work. I learned how to design, for example, I learned how to design this logo, and it's like really 5 minutes. And all the use cases were like really great. So when I was doing the learning, I tried to apply it on visualizations or infographics on the go. So yeah, I could really recommend him.
I love that you had homework.
Yeah, it was like something like you do right now, Jennifer, with drawing. So there was an exercise.
Yep.
He taught something, and there was an exercise to try it out. We did it together, and then same but different on another subject. So yeah, it was really great. It was time consuming, but I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, so I'm always going back to this guy when I know I want to do something and I know it's possible. I just don't know how.
That's great. And yeah, I think it's repetition and that muscle memory of trying to continuously learn. So awesome. I love this. I the fact that I'm still blown away that you do another transparent chart on top of this, so that way you can kind of sandwich your annotation under it. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, actually, I always do it. It's really, I mean, I think I'm really exporting from Tableau to Illustrator and to Illustrator to Tableau like 1,000 times before everything seems perfect. And then I publish it to Tableau Public, and instantly I realize that something is not great and something is off. So then I need to go back and republish again. So, but I made peace with it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is a pretty frustrating part of the process, right? Especially because you're floating, like me, I float everything. So when you float, and then at the end of the day, you put it on Tableau Public, and you're just like, oh my gosh, no, I have to go back and move this a little inch, a little way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I'm team floating when I'm working for fun, but yeah, I only use tiled containers and all the stuff that goes with it at work. But I don't think I will ever do containers on a personal project.
Yay, team floating.
Fantastic. Thank you. I love everything. I'm probably going to watch this back and try to take these things forward and everything else that I do. Absolutely love.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. It was really fun. And I hope it was like short-ish.
It was perfect. Seriously, I mean, the way you even went through it and taught it, it was just so easy to understand. So thank you so much.
Really love it.
All right.
Here, thank you for joining us again. Everyone needs to follow your Tableau Public profile so they can see more of your great vizzes and get out and try Illustrator, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Judith. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.